Leading in the foldable smartphone industry, Samsung regularly pushes the envelope of design and technology with its Galaxy Z Fold series. After the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and Z Fold 5 proved successful, the expected Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is going to transform the folding smartphone experience even further. The Z Fold 7 promises to be the next great leap in the development of foldable devices with its modern technologies, improved performance, and creative design changes. It's not long since the predecessor debuted. Thereafter, we only saw the special edition with thinner shells and more screens. Thanks to information supplied from a source wanting to stay anonymous, we now have lots of knowledge regarding the Z Fold 7. Presently, it appears that there were a few prototypes for the design, but based on the source, Samsung will be maintaining the Fold design very similar to what is presently with just a small form factor modification. The S series is now moving to a more rounded form, although it looks as though the Fold will stay with its squared-off shape. Now, I believe this is a wise action since it separates the two models from one another and leaves the S phones to capture their market. Larger Samsungs have always seemed to be somewhat more squared off, as we used to observe with the Note before it was discontinued. Although AI is still heavily involved in terms of promotion for the Z Fold 7, and Samsung is still adding AI features, there is a very good chance that the release of the Z Fold 7 will be where we first start to see the paid subscription model for AI that Samsung have already warned us of. The Snapdragon 8 Elite will now power the phone. It is believed to have 16 gigs of RAM and standard storage settings. The greatest difference with the Z Fold 7 will be in the cameras. Now, for the first time ever, we will see under-display cameras on the cover display, as well as the folding internal display due of improvements in the under-panel technology, and it's reported that they are now plenty good enough for face unlocking and video calls, and of course for very high-resolution selfies, at the kind that you would maybe put on Instagram. You can still use the external rear camera. Now for the rear cameras, it's going to be using the same setup as the S25 Plus that's being launched in January. And it's made up of a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto, so pretty much a similar setup to last year, although there are going to be some improvements to both the ultra-wide and the telephoto. Now, another huge upgrade with the Z Fold 7 as always is the display, and while it will be a brighter and more accurate display on both the cover and the internal display, the largest change is going to be with the Fold. The crease on the Z Fold series has been improving year over year, but it's not as fantastic as we've seen on some other smartphones, but hopefully that's all set to change. Now, thanks to a new display protector and a tweaked hinge, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is purportedly going to entirely eradicate that crease, while still preserving its water resistance. But as always with this kind of rumor, I'll believe it when I see it. So now onto the design, and here are the renders based on the information that have been received from the source who wishes to remain anonymous, but it's the same person that gave me information on the Pixel 9 Fold design back in February, which was 7 months ahead of its launch. But according to the information, the Z Fold 7 shape remains relatively similar to its predecessor, but the display is somewhat broader again, and personally, I think it's now looking like the perfect size. We've now got an under-panel camera on both the internal folding display, as well as the cover display to offer both screens a full-screen view. Then we've also got some tweaks to the rear. There apparently isn't going to be any raised camera module on the rear, and it's just going to have the lenses protruding from the rear panel, and it appears a bit of a hybrid design between the Z Fold 6 and the S24 Ultra. Now, personally, I'm not really a fan of these new camera rings though, and I enjoyed the slimmer rings that we used to have in the past, but I'll reserve judgment till I see it in person. Now, of course, we're only in the early stages at the moment, so designs can change, but this gives us an excellent sense of what the new Z Fold 7 is likely to look like. Now, for those of you excited for the new Z Fold 7, however, I'm now going to break through the features, design, and the estimated pricing to assist you guys decide if it is worth the wait, so make sure you press subscribe now, and we'll get right into it. So with the Z Fold 7, we get a 7.7-inch foldable 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. It's expected to be brighter and more accurate than the predecessor's display, and is covered by Samsung's latest ultra-thin glass with no creasing in the middle of the display. We get the standard HD resolution combined with some chopped-down bezels and a full-screen display. Now for the external display, it's a full-screen 6.4-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. One of the primary concerns regarding foldable cell phones has been their longevity. Samsung has been progressively enhancing the robustness of the Z Fold series, and the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is likely to follow suit. The smartphone will likely include better protection against dust, water, and accidental drops, with IPX8 water resistance being a plausible possibility. Additionally, the hinge mechanism is projected to be considerably more polished, delivering better folding and unfolding, along with greater long-term durability. The adoption of more robust materials, such as a harder glass or display film, will also make the Z Fold 7 less prone to scratches and other damage. Samsung's folding phones have already proven more reliable over time, and the Z Fold 7 should further consolidate its place as a sturdy, everyday gadget. Again, we're getting increases to brightness, as well as the color accuracy, and it's also going to be even broader than its predecessor, which is excellent news to hear. We'll be receiving S Pen support for both the displays, but the S Pen is not going to be contained inside the Z Fold 7, and it will be offered separately. When it comes to cameras, it's supposedly going to be the first Fold with 2 under-panel cameras, and the specific sensors are unclear at the moment, but we expect it to be another 4 megapixels under-panel camera to assist with the light capture. Now over on the rear, it's a triple camera arrangement consisting of a 50 megapixels primary camera, a 12 megapixels ultra-wide, and a 10 megapixels telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and it's a similar camera system to the predecessor, although there are going to be some enhancements to the ultra-wide in the telephoto camera. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite combined with 16 gigs of RAM and up to 1 terabytes of storage, which is going to be UFS 4.1. It's coming with a 4,500 mAh battery with updates to fast charging for both wired and wireless charging, and we're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC compatibility, and the phone is going to launch with One UI 7 based on Android 15. It's shipping in July 2025, and it's scheduled to start from roughly $1,900, and that's going to be about £1,800 for us in the UK. So altogether, the Z Fold 7 is looking like a terrific smartphone with the normal updates and tweaks. But if Samsung truly can perfect the display and not only make it brighter, but also get rid of that creasing in the middle, then in my opinion, it's going to be the perfect foldable phone. Now from the comments, it seems that most people want to see an increase to the camera system to something like a 200 megapixels primary camera. But it just doesn't look like that's ever going to happen owing to internal space and expense. Now, given the similarities to its predecessor, though, it's probably not going to make anyone with a Fold 6 rush for an upgrade unless there's absolutely no crease in the center of that display, but for anyone with an early generation Fold or someone looking to get their first Fold, then it's going to be a great choice. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is shaping up to be a mind-blowing device that could alter the way we interact with smartphones. With its unique folding display, top-of-the-line performance, and multitasking capabilities, the Z Fold 7 represents the cutting edge of mobile technology. While it may not be for everyone due to its premium price, the Z Fold 7 is likely to pave the way for more general use of foldable devices in the future. As Samsung continues to push the frontiers of what a smartphone can accomplish, the Z Fold 7 is likely to become a symbol of the future of mobile technology. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a professional, or someone searching for a unique and powerful gadget, the Z Fold 7 promises to give a smartphone experience like no other. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.